Coming this fall, helmet within a helmet. Helmetception.
Oh my god, there's enough space in here for like 3 kitchens and 12 bathrooms. Jesus. Oh my gosh. Look at this. It is huge. Oh my god. What am I gonna do with it?
Hey guys, welcome back to my video series Armor Up, where I go over the steps that I use to create armor from foam. Ooh. So, before we go any further, I want to take a moment to point out an error that I made in my last video. I mentioned how I needed to add a ½ inch all the way around my pattern because of the material that I was using. What I actually meant was that I wanted to show how the pattern can be sized up, which I do have an example that I did show at the beginning of this video, and I will show it again at the end. I do apologize for my miswording of that process. So, now that that's said and out of the way, we can move on to the fun stuff.
Alright, I've had many requests as to what kind of foam I use and where I get it. I get this material from my local Harbor Freight store, and it's simply a set of regular floor mats. You can also order these mats online, which are available in rolls as well, and are generally inexpensive. For this, I will be using a Sharpie marker, a box cutter, and a blade sharpener. A very handy tool, and also the patterns that I made earlier. To start, I traced my patterns onto the foam, and you will notice that I pinned the patterns down. That is optional. I did this because it was a beautiful windy day and I did not want to give chase to my runaway stencils around the yard. Also, I want to point out that for these patterns, I trimmed away the ½ inch outline to make the normal sized helmet, just to clarify. Once the pattern has been completely traced, flipped, and traced again for the other half, it's time to cut it out. And once you're finished, it should look something like this. Next, I want to introduce you to a very handy tool. It is called a heat gun, and I'll be using it to bend the foam into shape by applying heat to both sides and using a curling motion as it's cooling. If you don't have one of these, go and fix that. I highly recommend getting one, and it's very helpful when making costumes from foam. I've found that adding some form of shape to your pieces really helps when the time comes to glue, as you will see that in a moment. For this next step, I will be using a respirator, some contact cement, a brush, and a pair of disposable gloves. The particular brand I am using is called Weldwood by DAP. This stuff is kind of not good to inhale, which explains the respirator, and I don't want this on my skin, so I will be wearing gloves. Gloves check. Respirator check. Now to pop the lid and get to gluing. When applying contact cement, always read the instructions. This adhesive in particular needs about 15 to 20 minutes to set. The way contact cement works is you apply a layer to the 2 surfaces you wish to bond and let it dry to a tackiness. After that, you simply stick the surfaces together for a strong instant bond, which again is why I am wearing gloves. Now that the glue is set, it's time to bond the edges. This is where those registration marks really come in handy. All you have to do is line them up, press, and ta-da! Permanent adhesion. And then you just repeat this for all the other parts. And this is what I like to call an uncut gem. It's a helmet, but needs a little cleaning up. For that, I want to use a rotary tool. This one, in particular, is called a Dremel, and I'm sure some of you have heard of it. I will also be using some various bits, a dust mask, and some safety glasses. For this, I will use two of my favorite bits, the sanding drum and the polishing tip. And of course, I will also have some headphones because this thing gets a little loud. Remember, safety first. When taking any power tool to foam, it's likely to kick up some sort of dust. Always use a dust mask, some safety glasses, and try to be in a well-ventilated area. This stuff is really not good for your lungs. Basically, all I am doing here is sanding down the edges of the helmet to make it nice and evenly rounded. After that, I'll switch over to my polishing bit and repeat to smooth out that roughed up surface. I also smoothed over some of the seam lines so that I can apply some body fillet later. And behold, the end result, a helmet! Now it's officially halfway to completion.
There you have it, it's your foam helmet. Looks really nice, all the way around. I like it. Go ahead and put it on just to see how it fits. It's a little spacious. I mean, it could use some padding, but overall, there's enough room in here for a cooling unit or a voice modulator, whatever you decided. Here's the upsized version, where I made the pattern larger, and you can tell that it's a lot bigger than the original helmet. In fact, it can even fit over this helmet. I want to point out something for the upsizing of these patterns in case you don't know what you want to do. A good example is if you have a good monster in your head that you want to create as a costume, or if there's a large scale character from an anime or a video game that you would like to do, you can upscale your patterns to be more size appropriate if you like. For example, I don't know, I want to do a mech from Gundam. You can size this up. You can draw out your pattern and you could size it up. It's that simple, really. So all in all, I like this helmet. I actually want to do something to both of them. I don't want to incorporate them both into one costume. However, this looks like a nice little alien head or something. I don't know. As you can tell, it's very spacious. Oh my god, there's an echo in here. Anyway, that being said, I have two helmets. Gonna have a lot of fun with these. Tune in next time and I will show you how we can add details using different thicknesses of foam. I'll even go over that later, how that's useful. So until then, stay creative. I'll see you around.